Hello and welcome to Sportsroom. I'm Anirudh Madhavan and with me is veteran journalist Ayaz Memon. On today's episode, we're going to be previewing the India-Australia home series and how they build up towards the World Cup. So first off, let's talk Australia. They had a really good start to the recent series against South Africa and then they just fell off a cliff. But the point to be noted is that Steve Smith, Mitch Starc and Pat Cummins were laid out with injury and they missed that series and now they're back in the squad. So my question is, like, do you continue resting them, or do they play in India on India's home conditions?
I would think they should play against India because they need game time. They need matches on these pitches. They need their team to come and gel together. Remember, Travis Head is not there; he's injured, so that's a big blow.
Yeah.
And therefore they need to kind of fill up the gaps which have emerged in their team. They haven't had the pace bowlers playing together in tandem for a while now. They've been playing on and off. That was part of their strategy. But I think now they're about five. You're just about 2 weeks away from the tournament. So I think Australia would like all their key players to be in the mix, in the fray, rather than keep experimenting for a later date. I don't think that will work any longer.
Yeah. Then moving to India, the biggest news is that YouTube sensation Ravichandran Ashwin is back into the squad. So we spoke about this a couple of episodes ago where you wanted Ashwin to be part of the squad. So now that he's in, how are you looking at this move?
I always believed that there was a place for Ashwin in the team, and I thought, as things progressed over the past few weeks, that even the team management thought that, and also our Ashwin believed, he had that self belief. Maybe he had some indication that he would be asked at some stage to join the squad. Now I'll tell you why I felt that, because I think three left arm spinners are a bit of a luxury. I've been maintaining that for a long time. You have Jadeja, you have Akshar Patel, you have Kuldeep Yadav. Now, Jadeja and Kuldeep Yadav, you cannot omit now on, Jadeja because of his all-round excellence, Kuldeep Yadav because of his current form. So, Akshar Patel was a little tricky to keep, as in the playing 11, certainly. And even in the squad. And then, of course, he got injured. So, that opened the path. Now, you need a bowler who takes the ball away from left-handers. So, you've got Kuldeep, yes, who bowls the Chinaman. But you need somebody else who can do that, a finger spinner. And who better than Ashwin on Indian pitches against, say, the Australians, who he has harassed and harried and worried every time they've come here. And not just the Australians, it's also all other teams that have come to India. So, and he can bat a bit now. Yeah, I mean, he's not in the same class as Jadeja as a fielder. But in 50 overs cricket, I think you have scope. Captains have scope to position their, guys who are not their best fielders in certain positions or placings where they may not be kind of badly exposed. In T20, it becomes difficult. So I thought that Ashwin was a go-to guy, and obviously because they got Washington Sundar earlier in Sri Lanka itself, told us that they were looking for somebody, a bowler of this kind. And I think the fact that Ashwin has come into the squad, added after Washington had been added, tells me that the team management is looking to play him right from the start. I thought that they played it out well. They played out their hand very well. Rahul Dravid, the select Ajit Agarkar, and Rohit Sharma. They tried out all their options. They astutely kept Ashwin in the mix for themselves, and just when everybody's attention was somewhere else, they've drafted him into the side. That means a lot of teams who were planning not to play Ashwin will now have to contend with perhaps playing Ashwin. So I think that's been a shrewd move, so to speak. But of course, it depends on how well Ashwin plays against Australia. He has to now kind of justify his inclusion.
Yep, especially as India kick off their World Cup campaign against Australia in Chennai. So you can't kind of expect him to be there. And not that anything is, what do you say, deserved or you given on a platter, but then you would assume that someone who's done so much for India over the years deserves this kind of an opportunity to play a World Cup at home, right?
Yes, and if you look back a few years, maybe 5, 6 years back, actually Ashwin and Jadeja were your prime spinners, frontline spinners.
Yeah.
In fact, Ashwin came through white ball cricket into red ball cricket where he's become a maestro. But it doesn't mean it's one or the other. If the guy is good enough to bowl so well in the IPL, wherever he's played in earlier, look at his track record even in ODIs and T20s, then I think he should be given a chance. And I think one should put it into context. This tournament is being played in India, where by a
Yeah.
by a long stretch, he's been the best spinner for many years.
And he'll always have something up his sleeve. We just
Yeah.
saw him a couple of days ago playing for a club game in Chennai. So
I mean, he's a bit of a maverick in that
the
sense. He's a
rest
bit
of
of
the
a
team,
maverick in that sense, Anirudh.
yeah,
But also, he's a very clever
yep,
bowler. So
yep,
I think even before the call came, he must have been working in his mind how to get batsmen out, especially the left-handers. And he must have made a chart and a list of all the batsmen that he's going to he's possibly going to bowl to in the World Cup, not just from Australia but from other teams also.
yeah. So moving on from Ashwin, what is your take on the overall Indian team? What do you expect from them? And they're playing at home, so this has to be a good tune-up to the World Cup, right?
Yes, the second part of the question first. I'll take. I mean, this is a time to really tune up. I thought that India did very impressively in the Asia Cup. Finally, as it emerged, started off with a stutter, but finished very strongly. Right now, it seems to me India is the best squad going into the World Cup, better than all other teams. All other teams have been hit by injury somewhere or the other. Travis Head for Australia, Tim Southee for New Zealand. We've just heard Andik Nortje is not fit for South Africa. Somebody is not fit for England so far, and so on. So Pakistan is struggling a bit with Shaheen Shah Afridi, Haris Rauf, and some of the others. So this is a very strong.
Naseem Shah is out, yeah.
Yes. And Naseem Shah is out. So this is a very strong team. It ticks all boxes. It's got everything that you would expect to get a well-rounded team. Plus, it affords the team management enough flexibility and options to keep changing their players for playing 11s suited to playing against a certain team or on a certain ground in certain conditions. No other team has that kind of flexibility.
Yeah. So last question for me. So given this, you were talking about injuries. How do you see this exclusion of Kohli, Rohit, and Hardik from the first two ODIs?
Yeah, I mean that's a bit of a surprise, I thought, because frankly, none of these guys have had too much batting time, even in the Asia Cup. Yes, Kohli got a century, somebody else got 80, Rohit got runs, but I thought against Australia this would give them really good, serious match build up. But I think they've also factored in, work overload or workload, as well as let's not expose our guys also too much. I don't know what there is to hide, especially where the batsman is concerned. So I don't know what the thinking is, but I think the objective should be to win the series, whether these guys are playing or not. Be one up on everybody else by beating Australia and getting into the tournament.
Yeah. So people were speculating on how much both teams would like to show their hands, but then you would expect them to go into the tournament on a high by winning the series. So yeah.
They've hedged their bets and said that these guys will play in the third ODI. So let's see. I think look, these things are interchangeable. You lose the first match, you can also always bring in these guys to play the second. And so on.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, sir. That's it for this episode of Sports Room. See you next time.
Thank you. Bye bye.